Hey guys, it's Bernardo Esquivel. I'm going to be painting the Superman quarter scale figure, starting off with the head. So let's get this going. I'm going to start off with base coating it with some flesh that I've already mixed up here, pre-mixed. So the flesh I chose here is what I usually start with. It's a little darker flesh than I guess people would think. That's just the way I work. So, you know, I'll start adding my highlights and whatnot after. But right now I'm just base coating everything, making sure I get under the chin and around the ears, under the eyes, nose. Getting in every crevice, if you will. There's one off right there. I'm finished base coating the heads and I just came back from sealing them with a matte finish. So now I'm gonna go in and start to do some washes, which I'll go in with like a yellow. It doesn't need to be perfect. You want it, giving it a wash is just basically tinting the flesh just to give it like a yellow. And it doesn't need to be perfect because what happens is I'm putting this wash on, but I'm gonna be removing it with the sponge. Because, you know, I don't want I'm basically just tainting the flesh. I think a lot of people do it differently. This is how I've been doing it for a while now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a red wash. Now it can get tricky because this transparent color will want to bite into the flesh sometimes and not want to come off. When I spritz the alcohol onto the red, the transparent red, it breaks up on the surface of the skin, so it kind of gives it that, like if there's blood vessels. Even though it looks sloppy, it tricks the eye and makes it look, I would say, more realistic. A lot of people do it differently. Some people would do it with the airbrush. They'll stipple the red on there, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and add some texture, if you will, to the face by doing a little stippling or freckling. So I'll do that with the airbrush where I lower the pressure and you'll get this, I'll get this nice freckling effect here, which I'll do with the transparent so it's not opaque and it breaks up the skin again, once again getting more of an organic look. You have imperfections in your skin, we all do. I mean, I have spots in my arm, we all do. So capturing that, you know, it may be out of scale, but it gives it, I think, some life. You know, you can kind of see it there, you know, on the cheekbone and the jaw and whatnot. A little bit on the forehead, the nose, a little under the chin as well. You know, you want to get it everywhere because just to make it balanced. I think it just depends what type of look you're looking for. A cartoony sculpt, you might not want that texture in there. You know, you might want to just go with straight color and shading, highlights. But for me, such a beautiful sculpt like this, I mean, I think it pays off when I do these portraits. Now that I've done the freckling on the portrait, I'm gonna go ahead and do a blue wash. You know, now that I brushed on the wash, I'm removing it with my little sponge here. Because remember, it's really only just a tint. You're not painting, you're just tinting with the transparent. So right now I'm mixing up a color for the hair, which is just not straight black. I like to put a little bit of brown. I like to go in layers because I kind of want to get like a kind of a gray tinge around the hairline. So it's just not stark black, you know. Now on the top part, I'll go darker just because, you know, it's got like a full head of hair. If I'm gonna go into the hairline, I'll use a liner, which is a thinner brush, and do wisps. And then I'll go back and forth with the hair too, you know. If I feel like maybe I can pull it back more, I'll go in with flesh again, you know, with my base coat, and then go back in and wisp in some flesh. So you can kind of see now. I'm gonna take you through the process of when I'm doing the shading, then highlights, and then I go from there and do a lot of hand details with washes and transparents. so you can see the definition in the shadow areas, right? Cheekbones, under the neck, the ears a little bit, the nose, the brow line, forehead. So this is the one that's been completed. This is the one I'm working on now, trying to get it to here. But I'm gonna seal this now and let it dry, and then I'll come back and work my magic. I'm adding some color to the flesh now, and I'm not really going in really opaque with this. I'm going in kind of light, so it is like more like a wash. Then I'll seal it, reevaluate, look at it, you know, and see where I'll go from there. There's gonna be more blending going on. Right there, it's a little stark, a little contrasty, but I'll be going in and blending back and forth with washes, probably the same wash. And then I'm gonna block in, I'll go in and do the eyebrows and the eyes to make sure it kind of lines up with the portrait I did previously. I'm doing the lips. That way I can get a better sense of a read on where to go with the rest of my washes. You want to make sure you don't go too dark, make it look like he's got lipstick on. So it's kind of a fine blend. I'm gonna go back now and do a little bit more reds, shading as well. Now I don't go super stark red on this thing. I'll dilute it a lot because it goes so concentrated. So I'm gonna go in with the blue wash, and it's ever just so slight of a tint. It's more realistic because now you're layering on the flesh, so you're giving it some depth. Pretty happy with it where the reds are at right now. So what I have here is a very ingenious invention that we all remember or know is silly putty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mask off the hair. That way I don't get the flesh color back on and I have to go back and do it. Cool, huh? Now I lower the pressure on the airbrush too, so I just don't blast it with color. Also to give it some texture, to give it, you know, a little stippling. Giving him basically a tan. It's nice to have like a little golden warmth to him, just a little bit. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna do the eyes. I'll put the head on the torso and then we'll figure out, okay, well, which eye direction we want it at, you know, where is he looking? And usually it's the point of interest for the collector to have it on their shelf. Then we always kind of move them over a bit to the left or to the right. We never have it dead on center. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my hobby glasses or jeweler's glasses just to get up and get really close. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark where I put a dot and just draw in the iris, just really quick, really lightly too. Now it's important to get the shape of the eye right because it can throw it off the look completely. When I'm doing the sclera, the eyes, I never use white really. I use a kind of a cool gray with maybe a tinge of blue sometimes or yellow depending on the character. I'm doing the iris, and normally, you know, you think the iris to be black. I always just make it the really dark color of the eye I'm gonna make. So I picked out a blue here for the base. For me, I'm kind of going for a Reeve blue eye kind of blue eye, like aqua, like really, you know, beautiful eyes, right? Christopher Reeve as Superman, probably the epitome of Superman. That's the start of the blue in there. Then I'll go in with the lighter blue, then go in the center and start bringing it out and trying to get little striations in the eye. So right now I'm trying to find the perfect balance of a light blue so it doesn't look too stark. Probably try to blend it in more so it's not so stark. But I kind of like the idea of it being really striking. So now I'm going back and adding some color into the eyebrows, making them a little darker. I think now what I'll do is I'll go in and pinpoint where I want the pupil. I'm gonna use a fine tip marker. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I am going to start adding some reds and some detail work around the eye. I still have to put gloss in the eyes, but what I want to do first is dry brush the blue highlights on the hair because we want to give them the comic book feel. I'll start heavy at the top just to give it the gradation and then make my way down. All right, I think the hair is finito. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add gloss to the eyes. Now what's pretty cool is when you put that satin on, it makes the eyes pop so much. Now I'm gonna go in with the gloss. All right, there he is. Superman portrait all finished.